A very good morning, it's Fabio and welcome back to another daily market outlook where we discuss all the major dollar pairs. Now guys, today is a massive day within the markets because we have interest rate decisions in both Canada, the United States, and we also have the Bank of England speaking. Now, for your information, if the United States is to cut interest rates, so reduce the interest rates, that would mean that it is bearish for the dollar and therefore bullish for EU. If they raise/increase interest rates, that would mean that it would be bullish for the dollar and then EU would go down. Now, we are anticipating on the fact that they will keep the interest rates the same or they will cut it. Trump is a big fan of cutting interest rates as it is good for the stock market, it is good for the crypto market. So let's keep an eye on that, and it would mean that EU would push up higher. Now, focusing here on EU on the weekly time frame, guys, all you need to understand here is that after sweeping weekly liquidity here and underneath this low, we can see a V-shaped reversal in towards the highs, breaking fractal structure over here. And fractal structure is the structure of the individual candlesticks. You can see here very clearly push down, retracement, push down. Then we saw the push up, and now we are inside this weekly area of demand. Now, obviously, I'm interested still in further upside here from EU, but we need to understand where is this upside going to come from. Are we already going to start pushing up now, or are we going to see a deeper retracement and then the next push up? Now, the weekly fractal structure is the strongest form of fractal structure, guys. It is even stronger than the daily fractal structure, but obviously it takes a lot more time to develop. Looking here at the daily time frame, we can see that we are still inside daily demand, that the daily fractal structure is still bullish. This here is your low, this here is your high. We can very clearly see that we get the push up, pull down, push up, pull down, push up, and that we are currently positioned inside an area of daily demand here. Now, obviously, depending on what the news will be, we are expecting EU to start pushing up higher from this area of daily demand. However, it is a gamble. This is what I want you to understand. When you are already positioned in longs, let's say at the beginning of last week, we took a long over here, then it is obviously perfectly fine to be in the position with your stop loss or break even. However, we are not going to be gambling on what the interest rate decisions are going to be. We're not going to just start buying into this demand zone now and then saying, okay, let's pray, because obviously the result of these interest rate decisions can be anything. So I need to wait. I need to see the confirmation of what the market wants. Obviously, yes, from a technical analysis perspective, it makes sense to push up higher from this current demand zone here on the daily that we have. This is a sell for a buy very clearly. However, it is again a gamble. So what I'm now going to be waiting for is either for longs in here, or if we see kind of like a quick spike in towards the downside, in towards this daily demand zone, I am also still going to be interested in potential longs. Okay, so these are the two long positions at this point in time that I'm looking for, this one and this one over here. So what we now need to look at is the 4-hour time frame and see if the market is showing its hand at all. So what I'm now looking at here is, okay, we have retraced in towards that daily demand zone, and what you need to see here is that we have a push up, retracement, a push up, a retracement, a push up, a retracement, a push up, and now again a retracement. So we have a nice retracement. We have a retracement into where? Well, in towards this 4-hour demand zone. So what we get here is the initial reaction. So we get the initial reaction out, and now we've again pushed down lower, liquidating early buyers. Okay, so the early buyers have now been liquidated, which is nice because now we have a 4-hour change of character potentially on our hands. So this here is the change of character low, and that change of character low got broken or liquidated, or you can just call it liquidity or whatever, and this is now your change of character high. So what I'm now looking for on EU, guys, is to see, okay, can we start pushing up higher? I would like the 4-hour just to close like it is currently, and then maybe with the interest rate decision start to fly, form new structure, and then we'll look to go long once again on the retracement, and then I'll be happy to look for a long position like this with my stop loss underneath the lows. Okay, but obviously if the market just decides to dump, which can perfectly also happen, as we can see, the market is now consolidating, so there is a big move coming, because after consolidation we expect a big move. Then we will just wait for it to push down lower, grab liquidity underneath kind of like this trend line over here, and then what I want to see is it to take out this low, and these lows, push down in towards this daily demand zone over here, and then form new 4-hour structure where we get a new change of character in towards the upside. So both setups are perfectly fine with me, but I'm just waiting for those interest rate decisions to come out, and then EU will start leading the market in the direction that you want. So I'm not going to dive into the lower time frame here on EU. It doesn't really make any sense. Just because of the fact that the market is consolidating on the lower time frame. Now here, the dollar index is also consolidating, guys. We can see that we are still inside our area of daily supply. If we quickly go up a time frame into the weekly, we have weekly imbalance over here and a weekly supply zone obviously after an overextended move in towards the highs. Okay, so we have the overextended move. Then what happens is that we see a weekly fractal break, so a weekly structure shift after breaking this small doji candle over here, and that means that we're now inside weekly supply. Then if I drop down in towards the daily, we can see that we've gotten a order flow in towards the downside, where we see here an initial break, then we have another break in towards the downside, so we get the push down, pull back, push down, pull back, push down, pull back. And you can see that every single time we're reacting to the so-called buy before the sell. Here we have like a buy up for a strong sell down, and then you can see here the market taps into that zone and then it sells off once again. Now, all I'm simply doing here on the dollar index, because look, the thing is here, we've grabbed all of the liquidity underneath these equal lows here, and we have tapped into this daily area of demand. So now it's obviously getting a lot more risky to start selling. Also, if we look here at the fib levels, you can very clearly see that we've already made a retracement underneath the 0.5 fib, okay? Because for myself, this is the overall structure where we have a push up, a retracement, push up, retracement, push up, and now we have a retracement. So obviously, yes, we could start pushing up higher, but what I'll be waiting for to understand is, okay, are we going to see that push up higher? What do we need for that push up higher? We need order flow to break. So what does the order flow break? Well, if we break this black line up above over here, because now this supply zone is in control, this buy before the sell down, okay? So this supply zone is suppressing price from pushing any up higher. And if we do sell off from here, then obviously I'll expect a bigger correction, because this is like the end boss, the final area of demand that we have. If that demand zone fills, then yeah, we'll definitely push down even lower in my opinion. So let's see if this supply zone holds, and yeah, if it does, then obviously EU will push up higher, because that means a weak dollar. Now moving onwards into AUDUSD. AUDUSD has also not really moved that much yesterday. We can see that it's still bullish. Obviously we've still gotten this as our fib retracement. So also here on AU we are trading at a discount after breaking the fractal structure. So remember, the fractal structure was a break of this high over here, and therefore this now is your fractal low, this is now your fractal high. So we're trading now at a discount, so these are nice prices to look for potential longs. Yes, obviously you can just start looking for longs like this with your stop loss underneath the 1 fib if you're looking to swing price up higher, and you could easily trade like a 1 to 3 risk to reward, something like this, and then hope to get tagged in today maybe with a new spike. But it is obviously again risky, because for the same reason with these interest rate decisions, we could just see AU start falling to the ground. That's why personally I'm just waiting, because again, I do not personally like to gamble with my money. But overall, the daily fractal structure is still looking good to start pushing up higher from here. That's based on the daily fractal. Now, when am I looking for shorts? Well, if we break this line over here, this 1 fib over here, this fractal low, if that daily low goes, then I'll be looking at for the downside. But for now, anticipating on further upside from AU from the current level where we are. And then again, if we drop down in towards the 4-hour time frame, we can see that we're still positioned inside this 4-hour demand zone. So what you would preferably now want to see is a demand chain starting. So what we can currently see is that supply is very clearly in control. That is why I'm not interested in buying at this current level, because if we look here, you can very clearly see here we have the buy before the sell, and then we tap in, we push back down. Here we didn't even touch into the buy before the sell, only over here we have the buy up before the sell down. You can see this bearish candle close, bullish candle, boom, we sell off again. Here we have an open area of supply. And now once again, we're reacting to this buy before the sell. You can see we close down below, we push in, and now we're seeing some bearish reaction again. So overall, sellers are in control. That is what you need to understand. But we are close to our 4-hour fractal high, because this is over here, the 4-hour fractal high that broke structure in towards the downside over here. So now what I would want to see is this. I want to see it push up, retracement, and then another push up, and then you could potentially start looking for those longs again, as that would be a higher probability play, double fractal break in towards the upside, so a double market structure shift, confirming that overall bullish trend. So yes, longs could play out. Daily fractal structure is bullish here, and we still have a lot of room to push up higher after a very heavy overextended move down. But I am now just simply waiting for the 4-hour fractal structure to shift, because otherwise we could get the same as we got on gold at the beginning of the week, where the market just continues down lower with the overall 4-hour trend, and we just keep on reacting to these 4-hour areas of supply. Okay, so therefore I'm staying a little bit hesitant, but looking over here at this demand zone, yeah, that is obviously nice. Overall here, the 4-hour swing structure is the same as the daily fractal structure, where we have this. So as you can see again, the 0.5 fib acting as a magnet on this overall swing up. Here we had the break of structure on this high, so this is just one swing up, this is the retracement, and now we're looking for the next swing up, but we need that 4-hour change of character. Going into GBPUSD, GBPUSD itself is not very interesting yet. It closed in on this area of supply, just didn't tap in, waiting for that area of supply to get hit. Maybe I would take this position as a hedge on the other major dollar pairs, because again, expecting EU, AU to head up higher, also NZDUSD, but GU is obviously the most bearish one of them all, where we have the daily swing, first of all, which is bearish. With the daily swing, I just mean the overall swing down. And then we also have the daily fractal structure, with this being your daily fractal high, this being your daily fractal low, bearish as well. We tapped in towards this daily area of supply over here. So now shorts are potentially indeed on our hands. Again, the only thing that I mentioned here is that the overall internal structure is push up, push down, push up, push down, push up, push down, is still bullish. So do please keep that in mind, that that makes the setup just slightly lower probability. The highest probability setup will be when we break this low over here, where we see this, then a retracement, and then a short. That is a high probability setup, guys. This is the highest probability setup over here. This is a little bit lower probability just because the overall internal structure is still bullish, and we'll see it a little bit more clear on the 4-hour time frame, where we indeed still have like very bullish structure up higher. Like this, we have the push up, we have the retracement, push up, retracement, push up, retracement, push up. So yeah, this is what I'm now seeing, and now this could just be the retracement before the next push up potentially. But yeah, looking at potentially a hedge short and a short-term sell in towards this area of daily demand. So do keep that in mind. But then again, keep in mind, interest rates are coming, so anything can happen on this pair. But from a technical analysis perspective, normally I would say, okay, yeah, let's wait for this area of supply to get hit. So what I will do today with those interest rate decisions is wait for that supply zone to get hit. What we're now doing is that we're building up liquidity above the range. This here is my range high on the 1-hour time frame. So now what you would want to see is the range high get liquidated. This is over here, the range low. So now you want to see this little internal trend here start playing out up higher again. You want the market to react to this demand zone. I want it to swipe the highs. And then what do we want? We want the 1-hour change of character again. I'm not just going to set a limit order, stop loss above the highs, and then sell. No, I'll wait for the market to tap in and then start breaking structure again. That is when I'll get into a short, okay? So not just, yeah, limit sell it. That's a little bit too risky today. Normally I would consider it, but today I am not going to. I'm going to be waiting for confirmation inside that 4-hour area of supply. So let's keep an eye on that. Then we have obviously NZDUSD. NZDUSD still looking at further upside, but then again, normally this would be a valid setup. So what we have here is the daily time frame first. So again, the daily time frame very overextended, but then what happened is that we saw a daily change of character. So again, daily change of character is just a structural shift. Here we break the highs. This is now my low, this is now my high, and we're now inside an area of demand. Okay, so this sell before the buy up that broke this piece of market structure, that is now your demand zone from where we could potentially look for further upside back up in towards this supply zone. So then what do? I go in towards the lower time frame, and I understand that we need lower time frame confirmation. Now the 4-hour is very ugly here. Please do not mind that. But what we have here is like a liquidity low on this low over here. Then we have the imbalance over here acting as demand. And then what do we see here? We see a change of character. So we see a market structure shift. Again, here, supply was in control. This supply zone is still open, but then here we form a new supply zone. So overall, what's just happening is this, where we get this. And now what do we see? We see a change of character, which happened over here. Now, normally what I would do in these situations is I would go long over here and then stop loss underneath the lows. But you need to keep in mind that, again, interest rate decisions are coming, and that is why the market is just moving sideways now. Obviously, when the news will come out, we'll very likely see a spike in either direction and then choose the direction overall. So therefore, it's just a little bit too risky. So now what I'm going to be doing with NU is I'm going to be waiting for the news. Let's see if we can break the highs again and then get some more momentum. For example, break above this buy before the sell as well, which is like a minor supply zone, and then just get in on the pullback again, and then we'll just long it up in towards that daily area of supply. So that's kind of my game plan at the moment. I'm not interested in shorts yet here on NU, definitely not. Only once we break the daily fractal low again, very similar to like EU, that is when potentially we will have shorts on our hands. And then we have gold last of all. So with gold, we're back inside this area of daily supply. Now, from a technical analysis perspective, it makes sense to look for short-term shorts. Here we have like a little liquidity high, and we tapped in towards this final buy before the sell. Obviously, we're trading near all-time high, so preferably I would have seen like all-time high hit and then the retracement down to look for some further downside. But for now, yes, we have a daily change of character in towards the downside here. We have this as your daily supply now. We grab liquidity above the highs. Now, if you look at the 4-hour time frame, what can we see over there? We've now made a retracement into what? In towards 4-hour supply over here, which is a buy before the sell. But now guys, this is where the definition of being a good trader comes in handy. We need to wait for a supply chain to start forming. So now what you see here is a 1-hour change of character. So ultimately you see push up, push down, push up, and now we've seen a first push down. Therefore this is now supply, so people might be looking for shorts in here. For myself, this is a little bit too risky. Now I just want to see another low break in towards the downside. So now we're trading over here. A single fractal break, so a single market structure shift like we've had over here, is always very risky to sell. Preferably you now want to see another low break. You want to see a supply chain start to form, and then we'll get in on some potential sells. So that's potentially the setup that I'm looking at on gold. Here we have supply now, and then you would want to see another supply zone be created in towards the downside to start looking at trading towards these equal lows. But then again, what the news will do is what the news will do. Expecting again a very big move, but from a normal technical analysis perspective, and that's what I'm here to do, to learn how to trade from a very mechanical perspective, this would be a valid setup. If we now break the low, get back in, and then you could look for a short. So this is like a potential good setup. If this does not happen, then I'll just not even look at it. But yeah, that's potentially what we have on gold. So thank you so much for tuning in. Wish you all a fantastic trading day, and we'll speak very soon.